Welcome to the event. We're really happy that you're here. We're about to go live in just a few moments, but before we lift off, there's a few important things we want to make sure that you're aware of so you get the best possible experience out of this. First of all, the sound current is supremely important to us, the musical experience. So if possible, we really encourage you to use good speakers or headphones to experience the class with. Second, if you have any pre-existing injuries, please take care of yourself, modify as you need to. Don't risk exacerbating an injury because of a yoga exercise. If you have any pre-existing medical conditions and you're not quite sure if this would be good for you, please consult with your primary healthcare practitioner and make sure it's the right thing for you. Also, make yourself relatively comfortable. You can use a cushion, and in fact, we encourage you in our seated positions, meditation practices, to use a cushion. It helps lift the heart up, keep the spine straight, and it's more ideal for the flow of energy in the body and for the meditation experience. You can even be sitting in a chair with feet flat on the floor for those of you that are unable to sit in a meditative sitting posture on the floor. Just use a chair, and for many of the exercises, that will work perfectly fine. And then lastly, if you're having any problems with the video streaming, try refreshing the page, or if you see a gear icon on the video, adjust your resolution. If you're new to this type of thing, just take care of yourself. If there's something that you don't quite understand, I wouldn't worry about it too much. Everything that needs to click will click after a few times of trying it out. Enjoy the experience. We're about to get started in just a moment.
Hey, Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. It's such a pleasure to be here with you. We're here in Nevada City in the foothills of Northern California, Sierra Nevada mountain range. Coming to wherever you are on the planet. Thank you so much for being here. Happy New Year to you. And wishing you lots of health and prosperity for you and your family in this new year, as I wish for myself and me and my family. And that's the reciprocation of it all, isn't it? If I want for you the similar things that I want for me at the basic fundamental level, good health, feel of love, you want to feel loved. Just like I want to feel loved, I want you to feel loved. But then we all have these totally unique paths on how that's going to be fulfilled for us in our lifetime. And that's the great mystery, isn't it? And that's why we're here. We're here to feel good. We're here to restore our sense of vitality if we've lost track of it. If we haven't lost track of it, we're here to nourish it and nurture it because it needs that always on a regular basis. Really, this is an everyday affair. How do we stay healthy, especially as we get a little older? And guess what? All of us are getting a little older. It doesn't matter what age you're at, you're always getting a little bit older in terms of linear time. However, the good news that I'm here to report for this New Year's is that on another level, you can absolutely get younger. Totally. You can get more childlike, you can get more youthful, you can become more creative, which gives you the sense of feeling more youthful. You can kind of go deeper into love and deeper into a sense of purpose, and that makes you feel more youthful and vital. And so both those two things are happening simultaneously. Those two lines of like getting older and getting younger. And then it holds you into this deeper present moment thing, this deeper presence of one's life, and that's the prosperity path. So this prosperity stuff we're doing, it's not fluffy, just kind of, what we might think of as like manifestation work. There's aspects of that for sure, as much really as you want to. But the bigger thing is not manifesting something that's not already in great harmony with what your life is all about and what your path is all about. So what we're trying to do is be in sync with what our life is really all about. And we've always been on our path. And sometimes emotionally it feels like we've gotten off of it. But I think when we look back at our life, even the times when it seemed like we were off of it, we see that no, we weren't off on it actually. Everything is absolutely, my experience, moving towards greater love. But sometimes it doesn't feel like that emotionally. Sometimes it feels like everything's totally falling apart. And so that's what the yogis do, is create this view to create an inner vitality that gives you a bigger, kind of wider angled lens so we can see our lives in a bit of a larger context and not be totally dominated by the despairs that stresses bring. Sometimes things are coming together and other times things are falling apart. The tide will come in and the tide will go out, and that will always continue to be the case throughout all of our lives. As long as we're in a human body on the planet Earth, this is the cycles of things. We are all humbled before Mother Nature herself. And that's Mother Nature. The tide is coming in, the tide is going out, things are coming together, things are falling apart. So what are the things that are non-changing is the discovery of a yogi. What are the parts of ourselves that are non-changing? Love is non-changing. So we can just, as I started, what I want for me is what I want for you. I want to feel loved and I want you to feel loved. I want to have prosperity in life. I would like you to have prosperity in life. And then the path of yoga begins. How do we actually genuinely move towards these things and experience these things? And I like that, move towards these things, be in courtship with these things, experience these things, as opposed to achieve these things. Because achievement orientation can be helpful in some contexts, but ultimately, if achievement orientation is kind of considered the ultimate and the absolute, then it trips us up. Because achievement, success and failure are two sides of the same coin. What we're trying to do is go in between the ups and downs, the goods and bads. And of course, our life is going to be filled with all of those. It's not about escaping it, but in this prosperity work that we're going to be doing. And the reason to do a 40-day prosperity challenge is to really strengthen this cultivation of inner bliss. And that is what is in between, the negatives and the positives, the ups and the downs. Always there's us. And even since we were little children, there's always been that, as far as we can remember. There's always the inner consciousness, the observing consciousness. But sometimes we lose touch with it, over time. Sometimes we'll go our whole lives and we will not have gained touch with it, except for sometimes some fleeting moment, in a moment of great, like a child is born, or in a moment of orgasm, or in these, tremendous moments, but they don't stick around. And so the discovery of when I say a yogi, I just mean one who who wishes to discover reality and to truly feel truly loved, to be in love in that way, the non-fleeting one. Because our relationships with others are going to be ups and downs, even in the best of relationships. But yet, if we have this most important relationship, that this primary courtship is the one we're on, where we are experiencing the love in all things. We are experiencing the love that is at the center of us. We're experiencing that somehow, even amongst all the tremendous ups and downs in life, there's something sublime about it all. There's something that is absolutely causing us to become the knower of ourselves. And thus, through the knowing of one's self, one becomes the knower of reality. And now these are should be taken in almost like poetic terms, because what is this self? It's just the knower, the self. It's easy for a statement like that to become narcissistic. And so what we're not talking about the knower of the personality. We're not talking about the knower of the ego. We're talking about the knower of that which is kind of animating the whole thing. This great mysteriousness of life. This great intelligence of life. And so here it's like where words start to fail and you want to go into meditative state. And so that's what we're here to do. We're going to do a few exercises to get the chi circulating in the body, to tap the deeper reservoir of vitality. And then we're going to do these two kriyas, these two meditations. They're kind of like exercise meditations that are for amplifying the flow of prosperity in one's life. Okay? And they're fantastic. This is our 10th annual New Year's Prosperity event and our 10th annual New Year's Prosperity Challenge. We do this every year. It's the best. It's one of our most popular things. Nima was just telling me this and Nima's been here now for years and years. The first thing that she did that made her love LFA was a prosperity challenge back in the day. And so tonight we're going to do the practice, and even doing the practice one time, I think you'll find is well worth your effort, well worth the time. And then if you really want to dive into this stuff, because it's nice to, talk about it. Talking about it helps. Definitely, it gives you a vision, gives you an idea. It's like, that resonates, that makes sense. It's logical. It gives the mind good framework to work with, so the mind is less freaking out about things that it doesn't really need to freak out about. But then what it really does is it helps give a framework for your practice. So when we're doing these exercises in just a moment, it's about centralization of the life force, so the mind comes into a relative contentment, a relaxed happiness. Now, relative, it doesn't mean we've achieved some supreme happiness. Like, I feel good. And I feel a little more myself. And I can say, I can do something that I can rely upon that helps me feel more myself. Helps me feel my own self-confidence and creates my own clarity. Helps me feel my own clarity. Now that's valuable if I have something like I can rely upon for that. A 40-day challenge will show you whether you can rely upon it for that. It helps to purify the blocks that they tend to talk about these things like mental or subconscious blocks. But another way of thinking about that is not some like mysterious block of which we know where it may have come from, from out of nowhere, there's a block. No, what we're talking about is unhelpful patternings of how we think about things, unhelpful patternings in how we're perceiving things. So in these Kriya Yoga practices, Kundalini Yoga practices, opens up that field of awareness that helps us to kind of see, my own destructive patterns. So what we're trying to do is enhance, amplify the things that the best parts of ourselves. And the best parts of ourselves are the parts of when we say selves, is our mind, our personality, our being, all of it. The best parts are the ones that make us happy and make others happy. The least desirable parts of us are the ones that make us miserable and make others miserable. Simple. So what we're really talking about blocks, we're talking about the mental patternings. Now inside that, there is more of mystical aspects to this where you start to change patternings, and it does seem to open up the flow of prosperity. Or you can work with the different kriyas where you're bringing, like we'll be doing today, moon centers together, Jupiter centers together in this famous prosperity kriya that we've been using every year this time of year for 10 years, and others have been using for who knows how long. But any Vedic astrologer can tell you that when the moon and Jupiter come together, it amplifies prosperity. It's called Gajakesari yoga in Vedic astrology. Said to make a person famous. Does it actually make them famous? Not necessarily. Can make them famous, in their hood, make them famous amongst their friends. It gives them an aura that is magnetic of success. So within the context of your your path of life, it will amplify prosperity within that context. Give it a try. What do you have to lose? But first, what we're going to be doing is that's the second prosperity kriya. The first one is to open up the subtle field and to create a nice glow. So we have to experience these things. Otherwise, it just becomes fluffy. So let's just do it, okay? Let's do some nice practice together. And if it's your first time, welcome, first of all. Thank you for being here. Modify anything you need to modify. A lot of the stuff you can do sitting on a chair. Some of it not. In fact, the first exercise not. We're going to come onto the hands and the knees. And we're going to open the hands wide, plant them into the floor. And then a nice, easy, smooth cat-cow. Inhaling, the head is coming up. Exhale, the head is coming down. My friends Nima and Danielle are here. And they're doing it how they do it. And it creates a nice kind of how you do the exercise. But ultimately, you just close your eyes and feel into your body. And you got to work with the body that you've got. And start to appreciate the body that you've got. We'll all appreciate it when we're trying to hold on to not, and when it's time to shed our body. One day we all must. And so while we have it, it's so precious, our bodies. So in this exercise, you're inhaling, head is up. Exhaling, head is down. Just trying to allow the spine to become nice and supple. And you're moving your breath with a nice rhythm through your nose. Breath doesn't have to be heavy, but it should be rhythmic. And now close your eyes and listen only to the breath. It means focus only on the breath, but allowing, of course, all the other sounds to be there. All the thoughts are welcome to arise. All the feelings, emotions are welcome to arise. But when we say focus, what we mean is you're not indulging anything else other than the breath. There's so many other things present, but the breath becomes our anchor point for the mind's energy. In yoga practice, we need an anchor point for the mind's energy because we're concentrating the mind's energy or concentrating what we call the chi, the life force, the prana. And in order to do that, we can't do it with just the body and breath alone. We need the mind to also begin to cooperate as best as possible. But we have to be gentle with our minds. Mind can't always be forced, it will rebel, so it's like love. It's like, oh, my mind, It's actually quite blissful to breathe, it feels good. It's so exhausting to always be thinking about everything all the time, worrying, when actually, for this little bit of time in which we're practicing together, if, oh my mind, dwell on the breath, and the chi and the prana. The breath is the carrier of the life force, this great mysterious energy that creates us, sustains us. Inhale, head up. Exhale, head down. Nice, and then make your way back up to sitting cross-legged. And you're going to come with your hands on your shoulders like this. Sit bones down to the earth and the heart lifted up, the shoulder blades released. Then you just let it swing. Inhaling left, exhaling right. Yeah, beautiful. Keep going. perfectly still. Suspend the breath. Suspend the mind. Soften the mind. Exhale. Nice. Now stretch your legs out wide like a V shape. Flex the feet to the center. Inhale. And turn to either side. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift, filling the lungs. Exhale, folding. Go at your own pace, but the breath is deep. You're not moving too fast because you want to do this thing with some depth. You want to fill the lungs. And soften the groin area. Move from the navel point, not collapsing your heart on the or your chest on the exhalation. And every inhalation, fill the lungs and lift the torso back up, and then folding, exhale down, inhaling, lift. Deeper, please, with the breathing. And inhale, center. And then exhale, fold, center. Then lift, inhale. Exhaling, fold. Lift, inhaling. And exhaling, fold. Just several of these here. Try to concentrate on the breathing. Be less concerned about how well you're doing it. And see if you can just kind of immerse yourself into the breathing. Be absorbed by the breathing. Focus on it. Deepen it. Synchronize it with your body's rhythm. And then inhale up. And relax. Shake your legs out. Yeah? Pretty good. Let's try this. Have a little bit of water. Yeah, so on January 6th is when the day one of the 40-day prosperity challenge begins this year. And you can just do it at any time that you want to. You don't have to be on any particular schedule, but I always feel like it's the best first thing in the morning. It's how you start your day. You get it done with. And then you have like that nice, clear, vital, fresh energy for your whole day. But of course, sometimes it works a little better to do it in the evening, or maybe you already have a morning practice that you do, and so then this integrates as something that is in the later part of your day. Evening time's a great time to do it, or midday, but to have a schedule around it, because even one time of doing this stuff will produce some real magic, but the real magic comes when there's some consistency over longer periods of time, for sure. And so that's why you do the 40-day challenge. It's 40 days to change substantial habits. So we're trying to change a field of momentum from one direction into another direction, from a scarcity into an abundance, from a kind of lacking purpose into sense of purpose, from a sense of contraction into a sense of prosperity. And so there's usually going to be some threshold, and all of us, myself included, are doing this, and relative to me in my life, there's those same things: contraction, sense of prosperity. That never really changes. There's always something that we can take care of and can continue deepening into, blossoming into, as opposed to I used to think about it, either whether it was conscious or subconscious. I definitely used to think about it as achieving, as reaching a state. Not so much anymore. And it's not some achievement, but it's something that's just never ending blossoming. Who wants the blossoming to end? Nobody wants the rose to stop its fragrance, So that's what the bliss of it is. It's subtle, but it's the most potent thing. The most potent things are not the dense, obvious things. They're subtle. There's like in the space of you and your own heart and mind. That's what we're going into with all of this. So anyhow, what I want you to do, we're going to do now a series of just a few exercises. Now, this next sequence is not not something you have to do every day for the 40-day prosperity challenge, but for tonight's opening session, I really want us to activate our navel point. And there's a version of this that if you join the prosperity challenge, if you're not already in the Life Force Academy members portal, you'll see when you get in that there's so many amazing practices, and they're just designed for all, whether you want, there's a library of like full classes, but just practices where all you do is you push play and it takes you through it. And we have lots of great ones for all sorts of different things. And there's one that many of us, an optional one we'll be doing during this upcoming month. It's called the practice to wake up strong and clear, and it includes it's a little bit of like what we're about to do. So we're about to do this sequence to activate the navel point, to make the magnetism nice and shiny. Then we're going to move into our prosperity practice. Okay, so here we go. You're going to take your hands into the Jnana Mudra, the index finger to the thumb, and then it's going to be a nice, light and easy breath, and I'll demonstrate for you, and then you can just join in. But what you're going to do first is take a deep inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale, and we're going to do it nice and light, okay? So it's an inhale, and through the nose is my exhale and my inhale are of about equal strength. You can sometimes focus on the exhale just to initially hit the rhythm, but then you want to equalize it. Make sure your inhale is equalized with the exhale, and lighten it up a little bit. Light but deep rhythm, and then it'll get a nice smooth strength. Eyes are closed. Inhale deep. Exhale. Okay, again, inhale deep with the rhythm. Now the face should be relaxed, and even the mind is relaxed. And my mind, just dwell on the breath and its rhythm. It's meditating on the breath as the carrier of the life force. That which beats my heart, and keeps me alive, and rotates the earth, and moves the rivers downstream, and animates, the flying birds and flying creatures, and the underwater creatures, and the four-legged creatures, and the two-legged creatures, and all of the plant life, botanical creatures. Isn't it mysterious and wonderful? Deep inhale. Fully exhale. Inhale deep. And relax. Exhale. Ooh. Good. Now have a little bit of water. And what's going to happen is come onto your backs. And then Nima and Danielle can help me demonstrate this. First, you're gonna hug your knees to your chest, bring the nose up to the knees, and then you come into this stretch pose. Looks like this. Inhale deep, then but if it strains the low back, hands underneath the butt. Show them that, Nima. Like that, hands underneath the butt. Yeah, if it's straining at all. So you come like 6 to 12 inches. You're gonna wanna lift of your pelvic floor, okay? Pretty good. Rewind. Here we go. So first things first, come hug your knees to your chest and engagement of your pelvic floor. And go on a little journey together. Exhale. And then with a good sense of courage, inhale deep, come into the position, eyes on the toes, and go and move your navel point. Try to keep the face relaxed. Try to keep the mind relaxed. Easier said than done. Pelvic floor lifted. Move the navel with the rhythm. This New Year's, it'll get in shape, you know? Why not? It feels good to be in shape. We feel better when we're in shape. When everything is kind of like letting atrophy come, then it's hard to feel youthful. It's hard to stay in vitality. Inhale deep. And slowly relax. Beautifully done. Okay, round number 2. Hug the knees up to the chest. I'm sensing maybe even smiles are on their way. Inhaling, lifting up. Exhaling, release your shoulder blades. Pelvic floor is in. Inhale into stretch pose. Then pelvic floor lifted, toes engaged, toes pointed, fingers firm, and then the navel point moves. Draw the navel in. Relax. Amazing job. Well, if that was incredibly hard, you know, welcome. It only gets, you know, it's hard if you don't do it, if you're first time doing it. Over time, it stays, there's always a challenge to it, as there should be, because you're always kind of building your vitality and you know, keeping, you know, good tone, not just tone of the body, but also tone of the mind. Keeping the mind healthy with healthy perspective on things, not going overcome with negativity or overcome with our worries and doubts and fears. Yes, we have them, our worries, our doubts, our fears, but to not be overcome by them to where it causes our perspective to become delusional or deluded or excessively deluded. So you use the kriyas to help to purify the channels of the body, but also it purifies manuvahashrota, purifies the channels of the mind. So you have clarity, intuition, magnetism, glow, sparkle. Hug the knees to the chest, please. Bring the nose up to the knees, inhale deeply. No. Just like they are there, nose to the knees, shoulder blades released down. And you're moving the navel point. Put everything in a rhythm. Almost there, keep going. Keep the shoulder blades released down. Inhale, squeeze up, 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 up. And relax all the way down. Hug the knees to the chest. Any way of love. Rock and roll on the spine. Come on, rock a few more. Come on, keep rocking, please. Rock on the spine. It's poor instructions, not poor students in this case, just to clarify to the world. All right, now come up. Yeah? I was so lost in the music. Okay, last one of these. And best, really. Same breath. Thumbs are out, fingers are tucked in. Pads of my fingertips tucked to the pads of my palms. Thumbs are out. Arms come 60 degrees like so. Shoulder blades released down. And then you try to keep the chest out. Shoulder blades released. And inhale deep. Close your eyes and listen into the breath. Merge with the breath rhythm. Yeah, and uplift, recharge. The inner gaze softens and goes slightly in and up. Between the two eyebrows and slightly up. The inner gaze moves in that direction. Once again, to help to anchor the mind's energy. And thus concentrate the prana. When the prana becomes concentrated with the 60-degree angle of the arms, the magnetic field will expand. And no bend in the elbow. And within this 3-minute exercise, of which a third is gone, keep the breath rhythm. Try to stay with it. And the pressure of the gravitational pull against the 60-degree angle of the arm, along with the great rhythm of the breath, the optic gaze, causes the inner transformation of the life force environment. As the mind goes jumping or swinging, emoting, no problem. Blend it all with the breath. If it's difficult, breathe deeper. If it's blissful, enjoy it more deeply, continuing to enjoy it, merging with it. If it's challenging, use it. fingertips together like Nima there above your head. Touch the fingers, touch the thumb tips, and stretch the fingers to the ceiling. Stretch up through the spine. Inhale some more. Stretch up, up. Hold the posture here through your nose. Exhale. Inhale deeply. Shoulder blades release. Touch the fingertips to the ceiling. Stretch up, 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 up. Hold the posture. Exhale through your nose. Inhale deep. Up, up. Release. And just keep your eyes closed down. Let the breath flow naturally before moving on to the next thing. Enjoy exactly where you are. Feel the energy in the body. Allow the mind to continue to enjoy the current of the flowing breath. Inhale and exhale. Relax. Kind of raise your arms up and just shake them a little bit. Okay, have some water, please. And here we go. So, we're all going to get to experience, now begins the prosperity practice, and this is what we'll be doing for 40 days. But we've created this beautiful practice for you in the Life Force Academy member portal that from beginning to end is just like 20 minutes maybe for a daily practice. So yeah, 20 minutes is not nothing, especially if you're doing it every day for 40 days, that's something. And especially you'll see this practice. At the same time, just 20 minutes. How many of us are scrolling Instagram 20 minutes, not only 20 minutes, but 20 minutes more than we wish? You know what I mean? Or whatever it is, our thing, you know? And that's just how it is, because we all operate on habit. So that's what it means by 40 days, to shift a habit. It's not shifting a habit that you don't want. It's shifting more of what you want. Why would we do anything that we actually don't want? This is not a moral thing. It's not something we do because we're trying to be better people. We're already good people, all of us, our nucleus. Sometimes we can do destructive things, definitely. And so we want to be in our goodness, you know? And we want to feel good. We want to feel good in our bodies. It's not about creating no rules for ourselves. It's not saying, oh, I'm all of a sudden becoming some spiritual person. None of this. Like, spiritual facades are the worst. I tried it. I mean, not purposefully, never tried, but you realize over time you have facades. We all do it because all of us are just trying to be ourselves, but we're also trying to feel loved. And then we have all the, different environments that we've grown up in, and we all have our stories, our unique stories that are actually our heroic journeys. But we think poorly about our own story. We think other people's got this great story, and we're so allured by like celebrities in Hollywoods, or even like people like me, and I'm just struggling along with everybody else and doing my best to feel loved and having to take a bath, and and like it's just the same, So we're fellow travelers, and everybody's trying to feel love, and everyone wants to feel prosperous, and all of us have to go through the doorway of death eventually, And so we want to feel love, so we can go through that smooth, so we can like not feel as much fear because we know we're taken care of. So then then we project that all onto one other person, like some other person can fulfill all of that for us. No, that would have weight to put on that other person. So first, we need to find it within ourselves, and then those relationships, we're going to have the most beautiful relationships if we do that. And then we use our relationships with each other to help each other do that. We like shine that light on each other, right? And it's the best, It's real true love like that. And And that's a love that can continue whether it's coming together or coming apart, actually. And so anyways, for what we're going to do as a daily practice is first what I'm encouraging everyone to do. And it takes a little longer this first time because we're just setting the whole tone for the whole practice. But when we're doing it every day, it's just 20 minutes. But what we want to do is to, if we haven't already, because some of you did our winter solstice houses of prosperity immersion with us just now. And so you're already kind of tuned into what we're doing. But for those of you not, what we want to do is focus on the particular domain of our life in this season that we're wanting to experience prosperity in. So if it's love relationships, what do you want in love? What is prosperity in the context of your love relationship? You don't need me or anyone else to tell you. You know the best, you know what you want for you. And if you don't know what you want, you can open it up so you do know what you want. And because sometimes we don't know exactly what it's going to look like or who it's going to be with, but we know what we want. We want to feel love. We want to be in love. We want to feel content and happy and fulfilled and creative and juicy. We don't need to shortchange ourselves, and yet we do want to be real. And that all of it, the best relationships will also be accompanied by tremendous hardship at times. Definitely. That's how life is. But you go through it together, And it opens everybody up, and we become more who we actually are. Less who we even thought we were trying to be. Something like this. So it's not about changing any of ourselves. It's about actually coming into what we want, discovering what we want, and then starting to embody it. Not these ideas of some notions of somebody's spirituality, but the blossoming. You don't want to change your friends. It's none of this. It's just opening up the inner space to become really creative, to become really fulfilled, to become very clear on what your life is about, and to live in that way. And everybody's going to appreciate it. That's why that extra glow comes, that extra light comes, that extra sparkle comes when someone's plugged into that for themselves. It's a very attractive quality. So the first kriya, we're using the breath. The second kriya, we're using the mantra. Okay? In the second kriya, we'll be chanting Had. We'll get to that in a moment. The first one, we're not going to be chanting. We're going to be using the breath to this rhythm, okay? So check it out. It'll be like, your hands will be like this, palms facing up. Then you go like this. So it's O-shaped of the mouth. And you inhale when they come up. You exhale when they come down. When they come up, the left hand sits upon the right. The mouth is puckered in an O shape, and with every exhale, you lift your diaphragm. The hands are actually touching though. Left hand sits on the right. They touch on the top. Chest out, shoulder blades release down. Try to have the heart out forward. Yeah, beautiful. At first it feels a little bit easy, but then just wait. Not so easy after a little bit. So clarify the density of the psyche. It gives a nice, clear, intuitive shine. This is what the yogis, what we call the subtle body, which is your sensitivity, your sense of refined awareness. It's not better than, but it's refined. As you're continuing, breathing even deeper, think about what domain of your life you would like to energize in this new season of life? Is it your work world? Is it your financial world? Is it the love life? Is it your health? Is it healing? Prosperity can operate in any of those domains. One way is looking at the 12 houses of the zodiac, the first house of the self, deeper the breath, first house of one's body and identity. Second house of money, third house of your immediate environment, your creativity, your siblings, the fourth house of your home and your mother and your roots, fifth house of fun, creativity, romance, good fortune, good luck. Sixth house of work, service, like employment, karma yoga, serving, doing the hard work of service. Seventh house of partnership. Eighth house of transformation and change. Normally, you're not going to purposefully energize the eighth house because it's a difficult house. But the eighth house will sometimes be energized whether we like it or not, and we will go through tremendous change. And if we're keeping our vitality strong, which these kriyas help us do, in our open field of awareness, the eighth house transformations will help us blossom more into who we truly are, and thus we will have a net vitality, a net prosperity, even though we may go through some loss or change on the way to get there. But while we're in there, if we don't maintain a heightened perspective, we will not feel like things are getting better. We will feel like things are getting worse. And it's easy to get lost there, and it's easy to lose all hope there. And it's easy to get stuck in depression or to swung and to be totally absorbed in chronic anxiety, worries and fears. And sometimes this happens with us, but we don't have to stay there. With even the smallest baby step right now, it starts to change. Then you can get to the ninth house of your true purpose, your true dharma in life, which brings you on the path of true wealth, the ninth house, as well as teachers and higher education, generational wealth. The 10th house of occupation, what you do in the world, how you reach the people, how you help, how you uplift, do the work in the world. And the 11th house is the profits that come back to you through that good work. And the 12th and the final house is where all of it dissolves back into the oneness. Even our ego dissolves back into the oneness. And that's why the 12th house, the house of loss, is the great spiritual house of the zodiac, as it brings you back into the one vibration that powers all things. So focus on the breath. And inhale deep. Stretch up, interlace your hands. Stretch up, 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 up to the ceiling. And hold the posture like a cannon through your mouth. Exhale. Inhale deep. Stretch up, 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 up. Squeeze the spine. Now stretch around. And exhale. Inhale deep. Stretch up, 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 up. Then stretch around. Exhale. Relax. And go ahead for now and just choose that domain of your life that you want to open up to greater new prosperity, good fortune, good feelings, good expansion. And feel and see what that looks like. Feel what that feels like. So we're going to be chanting the mantra Hada. It's like H-A-R, but it's not har, it's Hud. Hud. The tongue must strike the roof of your mouth, like Hud. Okay, so the 2 points of the body that are important when chanting this mantra is the tip of your tongue, which is striking the roof of your mouth, and the navel point, which is the point of your abdomen just a couple inches below your belly button, okay? Hud, Hud. Try it for just a moment. Hud, 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 Hud. Very famous, very potent mantra, chanted all over in India and other parts of the world. Hada, Hada. It's a penetrating sound. It's the sound of penetration in this context, which is the sound of prosperity. Okay, the energy of prosperity. It's how you take the navel energy, the inner energy, and you penetrate the field. You penetrate vibrational field. Hada, Hada, Hada. We don't only download, we're always uploading, we're always downloading. We're putting kind of happy, creative things into life. Guess what's going to come back in our direction eventually? You got to test it, you got to trust it, and also you have to be patient. It's not just like everything's just like, there's no quick things with life. Nothing substantive is quick. Substantive, it takes consistency, but then we get into the juiciness with a little bit of commitment and consistency. Create a container so you can move energy. Okay, so we'll be chanting this mantra. As we do so, first you strike the sides of your palms. These are the moon centers. Then you take the sides of your index finger, Jupiter fingers, and you strike them. When you strike the Jupiter index fingers, your right thumb crosses under your left, like Hud, 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 Hud. Okay, like that. Hud, 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 Hud. Hud, 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 Hud. Now then you take your eyes and you open them just slightly, maybe about 10%, and you look down towards the tip of your nose. While you're striking the moon centers, which are the sides of the palms, and the Jupiter fingers, which are the index, the sides of the index fingers, bringing the moon and Jupiter energies together with the penetrating sound, which kind of activates your heart's wishes, which are already there, the kind of true path of your life, and the domain that you wish to energize. All of that's already set in the very moment of intention. So for the remainder of the meditation, for just a few minutes, chant the mantra, and when the thoughts and ideas come, consider them irrelevant for the time being, and concentrate the mind's energy on the sound and the feel and the rhythm of the mantra, the kriya, the hands, the tip of the tongue, the navel. vibrating, communicating, sending a ripple with every vibration, strike of the tongue, roof of the mouth, chant it out. Every repetition, use it. The navel draws in and the tip of the tongue strikes the roof of the mouth, and concentrate on those sensitivity points for the final couple of minutes. Vibrate your prosperity. Try to enjoy it for the last little bit. In these kriyas, it's natural the mind drifts and gets spacey, and it gets really like a twilight zone in there. And it takes effort to kind of stay with the focus. And every time you remember to do so, it concentrates the life force a little more, and your magnetism gets a little stronger. Until eventually you can create what's called dharana, a continuous stream of awareness onto the point of the meditation's focus, and it opens up the channels of inner bliss, and you'll experience what they call shunya, 0 point, zero gravity, where the sense of purpose is reborn, refreshed, renewed, invigorated, energized, made fully alive, and thus the flow of prosperity again begins. Now, inhale deeply. Have your hands cupped open like an overflowing cup. There's already so much prosperity. There's already so many blessings and good fortune you can't even catch it all. But you're grateful for everything that you can hold into your hands. Hold the posture and exhale. And this vibrating prosperity, not wishing for, vibrating. Inhale. Suspend the breath. Become totally still, expansive, and vibrate prosperity. Hold the posture, exhale. And one final time, inhale deeply. Vibrating prosperity. And then relax. It's amazing. Relax and enjoy. Just sit in it for a moment before moving on. So beautiful. Inhale. Exhale. Yes, you can see if you're doing this each day, every day, it's nice. Even if there wasn't some like mystical amount of money about to flow into your bank account, it would still be totally worth it. And who knows, you know. It is... You often do get stories of, you know, sums of money showing up and all that, but I consider all of that, I don't mean to demean it in any way, because some of us, we really need money at certain moments, and when it comes, it's like, thank the Lord, you know. But at the end of the day, I consider those types of things non-substantial. Helpful, grateful, but they don't represent the effectiveness of something like this, you know. And I think it's important not to look for that, to actually, to try to be realistic, you know, to be pragmatic in some regard. But to me, this work is pragmatic. It's taking care of oneself. It's in some ways being more pragmatic because it's being realistic about keeping a strong energy, keeping a clear energy, keeping connected to what is important in life. And so by doing this every day for 40 days, as I mentioned, we created this practice for all of you. And even the whole Life Force Academy team is doing it. Each morning, if you want to do it with a group of people, there'll be a group doing it on a Zoom. We normally don't use Zoom for our stuff because we want to maintain good video and audio quality. But it works nice if you want to do it with people every day. That's like 8 a.m. Pacific time, California time, for the whole 40 days. It's happening. And so that's a cool, amazing, I think amazing service. Our whole team is kind of pitching in to help make that happen. And it's not something that we normally have done, but are doing for this one. So that's going to be cool. But you don't have to do it like that. Some of us don't want to do that. We don't want to get on, the last thing we want to do is get on a Zoom room. And some people want to have a connection with a community, and you live somewhere where you don't get to connect, or you just love to connect and you want to do it with a big group of people, then that's an option for you. Or you just go into the member portal of Life Force Academy at any time you wish, and you go in the 40-day challenge and you push play on this thing. The first getting in there, there'll be a video that I'll welcome you and I'll explain how the whole thing works. Then there'll be a video that explains how to do the exercises with even a little more detail than I gave you today. And then there'll be the practice video itself. So you just need to watch the introduction videos once, and then each day you're just using the practice video and it takes you through it. Each week there'll be a new class that I'll be teaching in the Life Force Academy, a brand new series called The Prosperous Human. Those are 90-minute yoga classes. You're going to have access to our library of yoga classes and yoga class series. So many great, beautiful classes. You're going to have access to the entire library of the Life Force Academy power practices have a great meditation to have a beautiful, enchanting sleep at night and rest well and wake up vital. The series to the yoga practice to wake up strong and clear. But most what we're focused on for the first month of the year is the 40-day challenge, is these prosperity practices. But you're going to have access to the entire Life Force Academy membership portal. And that's where we do this. And we have members in over 120 countries around the world. People of all walks of life. It's not just like, I don't know what we think about when we think of yogis. I travel all over the world teaching. I meet lots of you, and it's people of all walks of life, of all shapes and colors, and all ways of thinking. It's not. This is certainly never is a monoculture. Yeah, it's so easy, and especially our current, highly connected world where we start thinking of things through algorithmic monoculture, and that's just not what it is. So Life Force Academy is a beautiful, colorful community of human beings all over the world that do all sorts of things. But one of the things we share in common is we do these amazing practices together. And so to be a part of this 40-day challenge, you join. It's only $1 to try it out. To get your 14-day trial into the Life Force Academy membership portal. And you can explore, and on the page here we'll show you everything that is included in it. But if you try to do it all at once, it'll feel a little overwhelming. The idea at first is just do this 40-day challenge with us. Start there, and that will introduce you to the practice in a way to where then you want to integrate it into your life. Even if doing it one time a week, doing it a couple times a week, or some people every day. It's just there's all sorts of ways to use it, but these are tools to keep you connected to purpose, to keep the body healthy, the mind intuitive. And it's special. The music's incredible. All the music you're hearing is original Life Force Academy music. You're going to have access to my favorite part of the membership portal, which is called Sound Currents. It's all this incredible music we're producing is released into the sound current. Some of it is specific for practices. Others just amazing music to put on and to enjoy and to create a vibe. And you'll see what I mean. If you're new to Life Force Academy, we're not releasing all our most precious music onto the streaming networks where none of the artists are being paid. We're keeping our best stuff in the Life Force Academy sound currents. That's where we release it. And to me, it's my favorite, as I mentioned, what I'm most excited about right now. So anyways, to be part of the Life Force Academy membership portal is just $1. And then you'll see here there's the Essentials and Premium. For 40-day challenge, Essentials is great. If you join annually, it's only $25 a month after your 14-day trial. If you join month by month, it's only $29 a month. So it's still less than most yoga classes if you go to a studio in this day and age. And you get all the yoga tools you need for any time you need it. Not to say that, of course, we all still love going to, some of us love going in person, but this is we make it as cost efficient as possible while still being able to make it work and happen. And we put all our creativity and energy day in and day out on tuning this thing for y'all, and it keeps getting better and better. And so we're very devoted to it. And to make this, the Life Force Academy member portal was born from that. How can we help people be consistent? How can we give them access to good teachings, good practices, fresh, inspired, not rigid, not uptight? And I think we're doing a great job. And the Life Force Academy 40-day New Year's Prosperity Challenge, this is our 10th annual. And this is always pretty much our most popular one of the year. And so many people discover Life Force Academy through our New Year's Prosperity Challenge. So if that's you right now, then so happy to meet you and so glad we're here together. And for all of the old friends who we've known each other, thank you so much for being here. And we start on January 6th with day number 1 of the 40-day challenge. You can get in there right now. I encourage you, don't procrastinate if you're feeling inspired. It's just $1 to give it a try. You can cancel, of course, anytime. And you can see what, the essentials and premium and make those decisions however you wish, however you're able to. But I want to encourage you to do so if you're feeling the call. And either way, thank you so much for being here today. And I want to wish you and your family and all your loved ones a Happy New Year. And may you have great health in 2025 and great happiness and feel the love. Okay, lots of love, everyone. Sat Nam, Happy New Year, all the best. January number 6, 40-day prosperity challenge. Yeah, giving new positive energy to January the 6th. Sat Nam.